But yeah, man, we gonna kick it, man. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Glad everybody is doing well. Lakers are done, but the show must go on even in the off season. So we gonna kick it a few times a week, and we gonna do it live. Welcome back to Lakers Land. Pretty interesting show today, man. I'm looking at a story about the Lakers and Austin Reaves. They might actually have to trade Austin Reaves. That might be the smart thing to do. That's going to be the main topic of discussion here on Lakers Land. Shout out to everybody on playback, as well as on Twitch, as well as on YouTube, as we doing our simulcast thing. I'm your host, Seven Mitchell, man. Make sure y'all support the platform, follow, and subscribe as we get these pieces of content in heavy rotation, man. Let's start things off with the word of the day, Lakers Land. The word of today is going to be content. Now, I saw we had a meeting earlier here on Playback, and it was pretty interesting that the director was talking about content and just kind of a little bit of advice when we talking about, especially up and coming YouTubers such as myself or people that's just even newer than me. When you creating your content, I think you really need to target, depending on how serious you take it. You need to really target your audience. I know you've heard that many a times and might not quite understand it, but I feel like depending on what type of people you want to attract, what type of content you are looking to deliver, you can't really mix the two. If you're looking to be like the ESPN type of person or give that type of analytic vibe, it's no problem with that. But I think you need to cater your content towards that. If you're looking to be corporate, you can't be going crazy. You can't be just saying anything in your content, in my opinion. I think that kind of goes against the grain. And I think ultimately it'll hurt your platform. Now, if you have like a podcast, or if you're not trying to be like a ESPN analyst, you just want to give your thoughts and your opinion, then really pretty much it's a freestyle. You can do whatever you want. So, I think the word of the day is just content. I think we need to, if you're a content creator, my advice to you would be to find the audience that you really want to cater to. I know we're all Lakers fans, we're all basketball fans of the NBA, but as a content creator, you really want to dig deeper than that. You ultimately, what is your goal? Some people just want to talk their shit, pop their stuff, give a little bit of knowledge, do some debating, no filter, uninterrupted. I respect that. We love that type of content. Then you have others who take a more professional angle, and they try to appease to the league, the players, things like that. Sponsors are involved. When you're really trying to make your money, and this is another thing about content before we get into the show, when you really try to make your money, this is where it really matters. Because if you have an audience that's going to give you and support you for you to do it the way that you want to do it, then by all means be your own boss. But if you have opportunities that other people want to have affiliations with you, companies, corporate sponsors, things of that nature, you definitely are going to want to have to make sure, not so much that you change who you are, but I just feel like just delivering the content, the style, the way that you deliver the content, just be careful. Just be careful. Don't shy away from none of the hot topics. Just find out a different way to deliver it. That's the thing that I can say about it. Like we talk about like Shannon Sharp, for example. I know some content creators didn't want to speak on the Shannon Sharp situation because it was negative and they didn't want to bring that type of attention or whatever to their channel. But number one, this is what drives social media. This is the internet. So you can't invest too much feeling into this thing personally, as far as wanting to push the needle in the narrative of positive business, because that's just not how the game goes here on social media. So you literally got to play the game within the game. Um, if you're going to talk about the Shannon Sharp situation, you don't have to be negative about it. You don't have to, beat them down about it if you don't know the facts, things of that nature. But as a content creator, then it's your responsibility to create a different angle. that the listeners, the viewers, that people really will want to lock into and be intrigued by your specific opinion on the topic. That way, you really wasn't negative. And as far as content goes, you're in the algorithm because you was able to speak on it. The main thing is really to have the topic, the title in your platform whenever things is trending. That's the main thing. It's not so much about what you're saying. It's just about how you put it together. So word of the day is content. Figure out your target audience and go for it. Whether you're trying to go corporate or if you're just trying to, go hard and do your thing. I respect it either way it go. Shout out to all the up and coming content creators of the Lakers. Want to get into some Lakers news because we got the main topic of Austin Reaves possibly being traded by the Lakers. We're going to get into that in a minute, but I did want to see what was going on in Lakers land on Twitter. So let me pull this thing up, man. Again, if you guys are on our playback on Twitch or on YouTube live, man, shout out to you guys. Make sure that you guys come on over and download the playback app on playback.tv. So in the news, let's see here. We got Lakers all day, every day on Twitter. Should the Lakers target anyone on the free agency market? Who are these top names that we got in this visual? A lot of big men I'm seeing. Nothing really stands out to me. I'm not want to disrespect these guys. We got BG in the building. Brian, anybody on this watch list attracts you for the Lakers?
Um, I like Mikael Alexander Walker. He
What
looks like a
position does
three
he
and
play?
D.
Okay,
He's
3 and D.
he's like a two guard, defensive two guard. Gary Trent Jr. Um, is a utility player, 3 and D type. Um, let's see. Uh, I don't know. These guys could look good and then they could get on the Lakers and suck, or
That's
vice
true.
versa. Who
We done seen it
knows?
before. We've seen it before.
Yeah, because
But
we,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know.
guys that you picked, I mean, you would think that we would have to get rid of some guys. If you want to bring in Alexander Walker, I'm thinking that either Rui or DFS is going to have to go, right?
Right.
You good
I
with
mean,
that?
they definitely have to make moves because the roster is full.
Right.
But I don't know what they can do. I mean, I think that they do need to look at trading Austin Reeves
We're going to
because
talk about that. We're going to talk
yeah,
about that because that was a main topic of today. We're going to get into that in a couple minutes. I just wanted to go over some of the latest news in the NBA. I'm seeing LeBron spoke on his MCL sprain. He said that I'm in year 22. This is my first knee injury. As soon as the impact happened, my knee locked up and I stayed on the ground for quite a minute to see if the knee will release a little bit. But I knew right then and there it was a pain that I hadn't felt before. This whole, and I think I must have missed the elimination game, but this whole I'm late to the party with the LeBron injury. How valid, Brian, in your opinion, do you think this injury was? Because if it's real, LeBron wouldn't have been able to return to the playoffs. So do you think this is an excuse or do you think this is something valid?
I don't know. I think I'm going to take his word for it. I don't think I'm going to take his word for it. I don't like the narrative that he fakes injuries and all that stuff. You know, because nobody knows for sure.
Let me ask you this, and you're absolutely right. But when we look at the history, is it safe to say that LeBron has put himself in a position to make people feel skeptical when he does things like this? Have we seen a pattern of things like this that'll make people go, when LeBron cries injury?
No, because if you look at it in real life, and if you put yourself in his situation, and you worth billions of dollars, and take for example, when he comes out with that thing on his hand and says, "I basically played with a broken hand," and everybody ridiculed him.
Yeah.
You're a billionaire. You got trainers and all these people pampering you. Why wouldn't they put a wrap on your hand after the series is over? You know, I
I
mean,
agree.
that's how they treat that's how people treat their patients. Like you don't want to put that rap on during the series because it becomes a target. But after the series is over, you got a trainer there. They might maybe the trainer did a little extra. Maybe LeBron took it like, okay, it's extra, fine, whatever. I don't really need this, but they put it on here, so ain't not there's nothing. That's not a big deal. It's only a
Right.
big deal if you hating on them.
Got it. Well,
To me,
here's another story, BG, that we got on LeBron. He says that I haven't had the conversation with the family yet as far as me going forward or whatever the case may be, but we'll see what happens. Do you believe that or not? He says that he has not spoken to the family. He has not had that conversation yet as far as what his decision is going to be. You calling that facts or cat, Byron?
I just think that you know, he's dangling a carrot, you know, because he's dangling a carrot in front of the media and using because he has his own media show now.
Right.
He has his own media, so he's not going to give that type of information away for free. That's something that he's going to hold on to himself, and he's going to release it on Mind the Game podcast or something. He doesn't. If you notice, LeBron doesn't give out anything unless it's through his media.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of
So
his messages are cryptic. But
yeah,
again, this goes to what I was just saying about the injury. I don't want to call LeBron a liar, but because he does so many things kind of like this, like, okay, I read this a little bit different. I read that he hasn't had the conversation making the final decision. I don't believe that he's come to a decision yet. So I can agree with his statement when he says he hasn't had the conversation, the ultimate conversation. But
because
I
he's
do believe that he has had a conversation. I mean, you Bronny just completed his first season. You mean to tell me y'all not speaking at all about the future?
he's not leaving. There's no way in hell he's leaving. We got the All Star game this year, right?
True.
This is his 23rd year, 23. He wears the number 23, right?
Right.
He has a $53 million incentive. He's not, he's coming back like 100%. Like I'd bet money on it. Like he's coming back. And he's just like I said, he's just stringing us along because he can. He's coming back. He knows he's coming back. There is no conversation to be had. He's coming back. There's no conversation that he's gonna. There's no the conversation. He's coming back, and it's everybody knows it. His family knows it. His kids know it. They're just not talking to. He's just like I said. He's not giving that information away
To the public.
because to the public because it keeps them in the headlines, which is good for business.
Word. Word. This is Lakers Land, man. 7 and Brian. We are in the building, chopping it up, man. We on into our next part of the live stream real quick, but I just wanted to start being a little bit more consistent. I want to give you guys the tip of the day. If you are a content creator, the tip of today for me is to expand your content. If you're looking to really get better when it comes to editing your videos, download the app called CapCut. I know you guys use a lot of software on your laptops. I know some of you guys use some different mobile apps, but trust me, if you guys really know nothing or little about editing and you want to learn how to make your content a little bit better, download CapCut. It is a free app, but I suggest that you go ahead and pay for the paid subscription. I believe it's like $9 a month, but it's so easy and they give you so much options that's going to enhance and keep you guys inspired and motivated to keep making your content. So no matter what niche you're doing your content in, make sure that you guys download CapCut and start using that to edit your content. I don't even use I don't know when the last time I've used a laptop or a computer to actually edit any type of work. Every piece of content that I have put out, maybe for the last year or two, everything has been done off the iPhone. Everything. has been done off the iPhone thanks to CapCut. So just my tip of the day for all y'all upcoming content creators. Make sure y'all download CapCut. It is a pretty dope and easy to use app. Now, let's get into our main topic of discussion. I got Brian with me, so this is going to be a good one. So, B, I was on social media earlier today, and matter of fact, let me see if I can actually pull up the story. I think I have it right here. Give me a second. This one was interesting. I know we had conversations about this, but the report made things a little bit more serious to me, Brian. Now, due to the collective bargaining agreement, reports are that the Lakers can only offer Austin Reeves a 4-year, $89.2 million extension after next season. If he bypasses and becomes a free agent, unrestricted after next season, he could actually land a deal worth double, 42 and a half, $43 million a year. Should the Lakers pay Austin Reeves the $40 million if he does opt out, or should they consider trading him this summer, literally this summer, because they're going to lose him regardless?
I think he has another year. I don't think they have to trade him this summer.
No, he has another year, but if they don't trade him this summer or throughout the season, they're going to lose him for nothing. So if you're going to put deals on the table, you better start now. You better start this summer, because if you know that you're not going to ultimately give him, that extension, is he worth the money? First of all, let's go there. Is Austin Reeves worth the money
90 million for 4 years.
in LA, undrafted?
That's 22 million a year. It still might be a friendly. It still might be a friendly. It still might be a team friendly deal, because the cap is going up. Um, so you could offer him that, but I'm not sure I would want to. I mean, or I don't think he's. I don't. I mean, I could offer him 22 million a year and have him as a six man still. I think that might not be too bad, but he can't be a starter. He has to leave the starting lineup. You can't start him and Luca in the backcourt.
Let me tell you something, bro. Respectfully, there is no way in hell, as an unrestricted free agent, I'm giving Austin Reeves 40 to $43 million a year. A
No, no,
year.
I said 90 million. The 90 million 4 year
No, I
extension,
know, that's what I'm
22.
saying. I know what you're saying as
Oh,
far as the
oh,
extension goes. But what I'm saying, if he was to opt out, don't take that extension if it was offered and go into being a free agent, his yearly salary doubles as an
yeah.
unrestricted.
Hell no. You're right. I agree
There's
with you.
no way I'm
No
paying
way.
40 million for Austin Reeves, respectfully, bro. I just
No
it
way.
it can't happen, bro. Austin Reeves regular season to me, Brian. I mean, he did his thing. He recorded career highs across the board. He averaged what, 25 and 6. He
Yeah.
averaged over steal per game. He shot about 46% from the field. He shot 38% from the three-point line. But the playoffs, bro, was a whole different story, and his numbers dropped tremendously. He averaged what, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds, just under 4 assists. He shot 41% from the field, bro. He just
Yeah.
came
You
up
don't.
short when the Lakers needed him the most, bro. And that has been the story with someone, whether it's Rui, D'Lo, or Austin Reeves. Someone always comes up short when the Lakers need him the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the playoffs is a different animal. Number one, you're playing the same team 7 times, and they're a higher quality team. You don't get the scrubs. You know, you don't get Indiana after that game where he played scored 45 points against Indiana. You
Hmm.
know, Indiana had like an overtime win against the Clippers the night before.
Right before it was the second of a back to back. Yep.
Yeah. So, like they're not gonna have that type of, you know, Indiana just saying, screw it tonight, or whatever, just having an off night. You can't afford that in the playoffs. So teams are geared, and when it comes to AR, you can stop him. Most defenders are more athletic than he is. They're taller than he is. They're longer usually. Um, so he's gonna struggle.
And he's
I
not
mean,
going to
I think
stop
he only had
anybody on
one
the
good
defensive
play,
end. When you flip the
huh?
script, he's not going to stop anybody on the defensive end.
Right, and he's not going to stop anybody on the defensive end. So for me, the 22 million. I mean, I think you could give him that because he'd still be a tradable asset.
Hmm.
As long as, but he kind of got exposed again. You know, he's a regular season, like he's good for teams that want to tank. Um, he's, but yeah, he's not and he's redundant. We had him and D'Lo in the backcourt before, and they
Yep.
got rid of D'Lo, and now we got him and Luca in the backcourt. So now we got to get rid of him. It's same thing. Make you laugh, make you cry. You
That's
know,
true.
so he's the odd man out because, and I don't know why Rob Pelinka. I mean, I don't know why Rob Pelinka had to specifically like put him out there like that, like the third guy. I think he upset a lot of fans when he did that.
Put a lot of pressure on him.
Well, no, I think he just upset a lot of fans because he's we all see how Reeves is as a player, and for him to be so you know blind as to his deficiencies and talk to him like he's a superstar or talk about him like he's a star on the same level as LeBron and Luca is just insulting to the fans.
When you look at the overall body of work of the playoffs for Austin Reeves, should we be identifying him as a playoff choke artist? Like I feel like he's had good playoff moments, not great moments, but I don't feel like he's stunk it up every playoffs that he's been in. And it's just like I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I don't also want to vilify him like he's only about the regular season because I feel like we've seen him execute in the playoffs before.
Well, I wouldn't call him a choke artist. I would just say the level of competition is increased and he gets exposed as far as his true level of talent against a quality team and quality defenders. I mean, he like the first. I mean, this was his third year, and he had the "I'm him" game. That was against Memphis.
Yep.
And then throughout that playoffs, he pretty much averaged 20 points. But in the fourth quarter against Denver, the whole team, including the whole team against Denver, is like they. I said they all are D'Lo.
Right.
Like the whole team is
They
D'Lo
came up
against
short. They
Denver.
all came up short. And that's why
Everybody.
and I'm thinking about that year when they went to the Western Conference Finals. That's the flashback moments I'm having of Austin Reeves being pretty decent in the postseason. Um, so I just really don't know how to, gauge it. But I don't know if I'm willing to give him another chance. Like I really want LeBron to have an opportunity to win, and I don't know if I got enough time to give Austin Reeves to see if he's ready to grow or not. I think that's unfair, but that's just how the cards are being dealt with me.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I would give him the $90 million extension because it's still a team friendly deal. If he's
Right.
willing to accept that, I would sign him to that. But I would probably look to sign him. I would look to trade him by next February, the trade deadline. See if I can get more value out of him. See if we can make a push at the trade deadline and make a move to improve the roster. Um, but yeah, he's expendable now that we have Luca.
Last
He's
question.
expendable just like D'Lo was. So we could get rid of him for a defensive player like a Gafford or something like that.
Last question before we get up out of here. When we talking about this, is there any scenario that you can see him, opting out, not taking that extension, becoming an unrestricted free agent? Is there any way you can see the Lakers giving him the 40 million per year,
No,
even with LeBron maybe going? So you got that
no,
money off the books.
no.
Just
If
nothing.
they
There's
pay
no
him
way.
$40 million a year, that's going to be one of the worst mistakes of their. That's going to be worse than having. That's going to be worse than having LeBron play until he's 45 at 50 something million.
Mm,
Like it's going to be. It's going to be like he's not worth 40 million. Not at all.
I got you. I got
He's
you.
not because you could get guys that don't score as good as him that just play defense that can impact the game, have more of an impact than he can in high leverage situations.
And way more inexpensive.
Right.
No, I got you. I got you. All right, man. That was pretty much what I needed to hear from my boy Brian, man, spitting it and giving it like it is here on Lakers Land. Y'all let us know ultimately in your comment section, wherever y'all are checking this out. Should the Lakers pull the trigger and try to shop Austin Reeves before it's all said and done? Or do you guys see a way where they should sign him as an unrestricted free agent if he does not accept the extension, man? I'm Seven Mitchell with Lakers Land. Just a couple reminders before we get up out of here, man. Make sure if you have not done so already, download the Playback app now on your app store. That's playback.tv. And when you download the Playback app, make sure y'all come join us and follow us at the Lakers Land Show. Also on YouTube, I got a new gaming channel. I'm going to be doing a lot of new gaming now that the off season is here. So make sure y'all subscribe to Seven's Gaming Lounge on YouTube as I'll be doing some live gaming and some uploaded gaming segments I'll be having there on that platform. Today's show podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh as well as Matchmasters. Shout out to both of those sponsors of Lakers Land. And make sure y'all check out me, Brian, BA, Hank, and the rest of the guys on the Lakers Land podcast on every one of your favorite platforms. We stream every week, once a week at least, try to do a podcast, and we are available. So make sure y'all go check out the Lakers Land podcast wherever you go listen to your favorite podcast. And last but not least, man, make sure y'all like and follow and share the content so we can get it out in the algorithm. Y'all stay safe. We
I
got a
got a
happy,
question.
sure,
Question for you, real quick.
sure.
Are you going to be putting any of the playoff games on playback? And do you have an opinion on what's been going on in the playoffs at all?
Here's the thing. I have been very well. I've been very selfish about this. And I believe I'm going about this the wrong way, Brian, because I personally do not want to mix anything in Lakers land that's not Lakers related. But I find myself cheating myself, not bringing in more viewers and an audience because the games that are being played is not the Lakers. And seeing what's happening with New York and Boston and Cleveland and Indiana, I'm really cheating the brand.
Yeah,
So
you gotta put these on because the Lakers are eliminated,
yeah, I need to
and
get it
this is the
together.
playoffs. Everybody, I
You,
think
you-
you should cover the
you're right.
playoffs
You're right. You're right. I just been like,
because
man, I
this is the
don't.
highest level of basketball
You're right.
that we're
You're right.
gonna that's available. It's higher level than the Lakers. It's not us, but it's higher level than the Lakers.
You're right. You're right. So
So
Brian has made an executive decision. I believe he's right. Um, so yeah, I'll go ahead and start streaming the playoff games, and they come on early for the most part. So yeah,
mhm.
we'll get the playoff games going on. We're still in with the second round.
Yep, second round.
Oh yeah, so we still got like a
Knicks up
month.
2-0 on the Celtics. Beat
Okay,
them twice in a row at home.
so they're going back to Madison Square.
Up 2-0. Yeah.
Oh, oh, all right. So we got some action. Oh yeah,
So
so
that's
I'll.
that's that's the series. And then Minnesota got smoked by the Golden State Warriors and it
And then we
looks
got
like
Denver and OKC
Candyman.
battling.
Yep, and OKC in Denver. So yeah, and then you got Indiana beat is up 2-0 on the Cavs.
All right. So that's what it's going to be. And I know my boy going to pull up and join me. So, all right, that's what it's going to be. I'll make sure that is we'll get these playoff games rocking and rolling here, and we'll do it like we always do. All
Yeah,
right,
I'll
that's a
keep an
bet.
eye out for you.
All right, appreciate you, Big.
All right, man.
All right, everybody, y'all stay safe here in Lakers land. I'm Seven Mitchell, and